All right, we're back. So, yeah, YouTube does not like people talking about their comics, apparently, and how they got into comics. Maybe you mentioned that you have depression. Maybe they don't like people with depression. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe.
It seems like a bunch of bullshit. It seems to be happening more and more. I don't know what the hell is going on. We didn't show anything copyrighted. I don't know that for sure. It said that we had violated their policies, terms of service, or whatever. But yeah, I don't know how. But anyway, so yeah, this whole people, if you didn't see, if anyone turns up to watch this, which I don't know if they will now because they don't have the link, people will not know what we were talking about earlier. Bandito, how you going?
Hail and well met. What happened?
I don't know.
No idea. I was too angry and YouTube got mad at me.
But you weren't even that angry. You just said you were angry.
Yeah, I know. I know.
You cannot handle the rage of the replicator.
Yeah.
Tell me about it. What is happening? What's the point of all this if you can't even just come on? The only video I showed was Rob's own video.
So we're just restarting now?
Yeah, we've just gone live. We've been live about 1 minute.
Okay, well let's do this right. Let's take it back a couple steps and let's introduce the players. Ladies and gentlemen, for your viewing pleasure, coming to the ring right now with a combined total of 2 fulfilled campaigns, 851 backers, $34,000, Rob Replicator Arnold and his opponent fighting out of the red corner in the yellow trunks, broken promises and false agreements left hanging at the bell. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, are you ready? To the panel of 3 and the half dozens watching from home, let's get ready to rumble!
Wow.
So, what are we talking about?
I don't know where we left off. Like, where did we get?
Yeah, so we wanted to kind of leave the whole kerfuffle that's just happened behind us because it's still so fresh. Rob hasn't really figured out how he's going to deal with it. It's still, at the front and center of his mind. You can see his furrowed brow there.
Oh, totally.
He's shaved his head to look tougher.
I did actually.
He's got that skinhead look. He's trying to be Russell Crowe in that old movie. Yeah, so we thought, I thought, Romper Stomper. That's it. Have you got a bomber jacket anywhere you can put on? Yeah, so I thought, like you just said, you pointed out, Rob's got a buttload of backers. He's made heaps of money. Everyone loves Rob. Rob gets himself out there. He's really pushed Replicator out there front and center in front of CG. But I thought, people hadn't really maybe got to know Rob and his background, and he was just, saying to us how this is his first book that he's written. It's, he didn't have many comic books in his area growing up. Rob, you must have been a bit further out than I did, because at my news agency we had plenty of those books. So
yeah,
I guess it all just depends on where you grew up.
Yeah, I don't know. Antoine Dennison saying we'll talk about how life isn't fair and bad things happen to good people is where
we were, and that's influenced your approach to storytelling, which I think is really unique. This sort of showing more complexity in the story, having villains make sense, and even sometimes you get to kind of root for them in a way. Maybe you don't always agree with their methods. What they're doing makes sense, and you secretly want them to win sometimes.
Yeah, and I really want to make people question how far's too far. Like, if Sarah goes missing in the first issue, right, and the main character Riker is going to have to get her back, and how far is too far? would you hurt someone to find it? Would you kill someone? Is that okay? Would you kill, 10 people, 100 people? What point is getting your wife back to you, your loved one, is okay? Like how far can you go before people start turning on you?
Before you become the "Are we the baddies" meme?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's a good question. It's fertile ground for storytelling, and you are right. Comic books. There's lots of tropes in comics specifically. You can get sort of stuck in them. Like you mentioned earlier, the superhero versus the supervillain dynamic. What drew you? Like you said, this is your first story, so you didn't have to make a comic book. You could have maybe, I don't know, you could have tried to screenplay or written a novel or something. What made you say this has got to be a comic?
I always liked comics. Sort of do little comics when I was a teenager, and I had one about an invisible archer, which I thought was pretty sweet. You
didn't think to go back to a Cyberfrog and go back to your original creation?
Yeah, it's pretty cool though, because everyone does an archer, and they're all the same. They're all like some dude with a bow. But
Robin Hood knockoffs.
What about an invisible archer? Like, how sick would that be? You don't know where he's shooting from. You don't know when the arrows come in.
Are the arrows invisible?
Yeah, arrows are invisible.
Wow. So it's got legs, man. You should go back to it after Replicator's finished. Do Replicator first, because people really like Replicator.
I've got a whole heap of ideas I want to do. It's just whether or not which one I do next.
The reason I ask is because comic books are hard, and you're finding out today. Like, it seems to me, I think of you guys managing teams, guys like you, guys like Liam. A lot of people do. They manage teams of people, and then that's on top of everything else. You got to worry. Is my story good? Are my characters good? All this stuff that you have to worry about when you're thinking about comics. It's really a mammoth undertaking. So I always think people who want to make comic books are probably, a little bit crazy in that sense. They're really, you just to power ahead through all the obstacles.
If you're not passionate about making comic books, don't even try. Like, it is hard work, and it's time consuming, and it takes a long time, like a long time.
Yeah. It does. And
you got to manage lots of people. Like, you've got a penciler, an inker, a colorist, a letterer, an editor, and then you've got printing and shipping on top of that. So there's like 5 or 6 or 7 different thingos just to get one book out. So crazy amount of work.
But the good thing about it is, and if you ever talk to someone who's trying to put out an independent novel, we have the graphics, we have the images, we have these amazing art that we can point to sell. So this cover, I'm sure, sold you a lot of replicators.
Heaps.
Because it's just, this sort of stuff resonates. The art brings people in, and the story keeps them coming back.
Yeah.
That's how I see it.
I've said it before, man. I don't want to do comics unless the art's good. Like, I see comics that, like, not trying to be mean, but have terrible art. And it's just like, I have no desire to read that at all. So as long as the art's good, I'm on board.
It does make it hard, doesn't it? It's
really does,
because as well, I see, and everyone's trying. Not everyone can either afford, or if they're the artists themselves, they're just not there yet with the art. And it is an uphill battle when it's like that. And sometimes as well, you've got someone who'll hire an amazing artist to do the cover, and then the interiors as well. There's a real disconnect between the quality of the quality of what's on the front and what's on the inside. Hey, do you have any of those character sheets that you I think you posted them today or yesterday? It's got Ghost and that other dude. Do you have them that you could share with us? Because I really like to show people that, because they're freaking amazing. You're I don't know if you guys know who are watching, but when I first started this channel, I was scratching my head thinking, what am I going to do for this channel? And I thought, I know what everyone wants to see, everyone wants to see time lapses of me doing fan art. How naive I was. So I was like, okay, I'm going to do some fan art. So I did some fan art for Cody Fernandez, for Jack Irons. I did some fan art for another guy. I like his book. It's called Scurry. And I saw this character, Ghost. And I'm like, oh, shit, I want to draw that. So I'd seen Rob around, he seemed like a cool guy. So I'm like, right, I'm going to do this Ghost character. So I did fan art for that. And that's how I sort of came to connect with Rob. I just kind of told him, hey, I love your character. I'm going to do a fan art. And he was like, cool. He shared on his Twitter. And that's kind of, how we met. But, this is the thing about Replicator. He has some killer character designs.
Yeah. I think I'm. I don't want to say lucky, but I look at a lot of artists. Some people ask me, "How do you find such amazing artists?" And the answer is, I look through a ton of them. Like I'm on Facebook and all the drawing groups, and if I see someone that I like, I'll make a note. I'll save the post. And I found Aaron that way. I found Clayton that way, and Clayton's incredible on his own. He's going to be...
That's Clayton Barton of How to Draw Comics.
Yeah, he's going to be incredible. He's already there, but he's taken it to a whole new level.
Once he gets a book out, it's all going to snap into place and it's going to take off. That's the only thing he's missing so far. He's sort of got everything else down. He's got that radio voice. He's got a channel. He's got an audience. He just needs the book.
He's got a giant audience, so when he does launch, it should be really big. So I hope it is, because he's a really good guy. We talk a lot, actually.
He's one of the first guys who I was the first stream I ever did was with him. So he gave me a shot as well.
Yeah,
and I see him. They're doing it for everyone. So super chill. Hey, Jason Black wants to know what we got done for this time. This Jason, us talking about Replicator, nothing else. And if you guys were here earlier, you can attest that's what we did. So
the interwebs fear the Replicator.
They do. Apparently,
there's one point I wanted to make before, which I didn't make, was that making a comic isn't just it's not just me. It's it's my family who said to me when I think I want to make a comic, they're like, "That's a great idea. Go ahead with it." It's your wife or your partner and your kids who give you the time and the support to do it. Because did
they know? Did they know how much time it would take when you said that to them?
I don't know. I don't know if they knew, but they're all blown away by how successful it's been.
I bet.
Yeah. And so what I'm saying is you just need someone to give you that boost.
Man, I'm right there with you. And I bet your daughter's super proud of you when she sees you, up there getting on streams and everyone's loving your work and you're selling lots of books.
She's only 3, but she's hilarious, man. She when I'm on streams, she's and I get off them, she goes, "Where did your friends go?" And
it's so cute. Yeah, I've got a 2.5-year-old and a 8-year-old.
Oh, beautiful. I play the music video from Replicator. She'll come running. She loves the music for it for some reason. I don't know why, but she does. But yeah, she's amazing. So yeah, I hope
that's
everyone
so cool.
has someone that can give them just a little nudge and do what they want to do.
My one time Ethan played one of my cartoons on his stream. And the end result of that was I ended up getting 400 subscribers to my channel in pretty much a couple of days. It's a huge thing for my channel.
He was talking about it just before. He said he's waiting for your next video.
Oh, yeah, I've got it. There's only so many hours in the day, unfortunately. But yeah, I'm definitely on it. And I came home and my daughter had printed out a screen grab of the stream with my cartoon, and there's Ethan and everywhere, and she wrote a thing on it saying congratulations and everything, and she stuck it up on my wall.
It's beautiful, man.
It's true. They do. I mean, you can't, if you've got a family, you can't do a comic without them being involved. with just as a support, and allowing you the time to do what you need to do. I've been here streaming every day, and that's because my family knows, Papa's got to go. They call me Papa because they're French. Has got to go work and stream and get himself out there. So you're absolutely right.
It's crazy last name.
What's that? My wife?
Your wife's crazy last name.
Yeah. Beauvais Renoir.
Yes.
Yeah, when she first said that to me, I was like, I don't know if I'll ever be able to pronounce this. But I finally learned to spell it after about 13 years.
Very well done. Very well done.
So this is Ghost. This is the character that just, sucked me in. And that thing she has on her arm, that weapon, that is impossible to draw. I'm telling you, I nearly gave up halfway through.
Yeah, I really like Ghost, and so does everyone else apparently. So that's cool. I'm really happy with that. I think I might even do like a one-shot standalone Ghost story, which might be kind of cool. But we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, you just never know, do you? You never know. Like, you put this stuff out into the world, and obviously the people love Replicator. They've really taken to it. And then, people will have their favorite characters, and what you think, it may not necessarily be the case. And, but when the people speak, you got to listen.
Yeah. But yeah, I could talk about this design. I think I love the fact that she's got a full face helmet on. Kind of makes her appear inhuman, which is a cool little thing. And we've got the other version too.
That's the thing. Like, I don't even know if she is human. Obviously she's got the human body, but she's Clayton's got those really exaggerated heroic proportions going. So she does look a bit like an alien there, and just the shape of the helmet as well is a bit alien-esque. So yeah.
But this is the color scheme we went with, which is pretty cool. But yeah, the comments. I posted this on Reddit, and the comments that we were getting were just ridiculous. Like, how can you as a male creator put a female in this outfit without her permission? And I'm just like, what?
What?
What you saying? And some people saying, I can't believe it. She's naked. I'm like, how's she naked?
Naked?
Like, yeah, she's got nothing on her legs or nothing on her next to her boobs. I'm like, you mean the pants? And they're like, yeah, I thought that was skin color. And I'm like, how is gray a skin color? So it's like it's like normal superhero fare. It's like what do you call it? Like a leotard type thing. It's skin tight. But you get so many dumb comments. It's just crazy.
If you scroll down, we'll check out her ass.
Yeah. What's with the tiny boobs? Asks Hannafy.
I think they're proportionate. Look, people go nuts over the massive boobs, and people go a bit crazy with them. But there's many different sizes and types of boobs out there, and I think they're perfectly proportioned to her frame. But I remember people go on about the way people draw asses in superhero asses, especially on women. They say, oh, it's not realistic, with the way it kind of really hugs around the ass cheeks and everything. But I don't know. I don't know if it's the same with you, but here in Melbourne, women, they walk around in basically yoga pants all the time, and you see everything. I mean, that stuff gets in there. They may as well be walking around naked.
Yeah.
And that's what they look like.
Yeah, for sure.
What's Poland saying? I thought this was a mandate with Rob. Well, look, guys. Yeah, I did say to you guys, I did say that Poland and Samurai are my regular dudes. And I did say to them before the stream. I didn't know what direction this stream was going to go in because of everything that just happened before. So I was like, I'm just going to do a one-on-one. But then Bandito did get in touch with me and say he needed to give his little flavor to the stream. So that's why I let him come on. And he did.
They're welcome to come in.
We've only got 20 minutes left now anyway, so we'll leave them in the chat. But yeah, you guys know I love you.
and this might ring a bell.
It does. Yeah. I was initially I actually drew her boobs bigger too. I don't know why I did that. It's because I never draw big boobs because it's just not many of my characters have that. And what I try and do with fan art or anything like that is I want to try and draw things that I don't normally draw. That's why I really wanted to draw her.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was like, oh, I can't match Clayton's musculature. I just couldn't. I would try, and it would just come off as like a try-hard effort. Like you got to know your limitations. But I think she ended up pretty cool.
She looks great, man. I love it. It's a totally different style, but it looks fantastic.
Don't you? I mean, I've only had one piece of fan art, which was from that Arch side guy. You know him. He's been going around.
He's really
I love that style. And he's been going around doing a whole bunch of people, and they're all friggin' amazing. I just saw one for Doc Hogg's Tilt character. She's got the cards. Just incredible stuff. And when I saw it, I was just sitting there just like, oh, man. It was such a surreal experience to see, someone drawing your character. And to do it in their own style and put their own spin on it. Yeah, it was a really cool thing to see.
Yeah, no, I love fan art. It's great. Having people go out of their way to do art of your creation is very humbling experience.
It is, and it's something that people they say that, and you don't really know until you actually hits you right in the face, and you go, wow, that's friggin' cool. That is friggin' cool.
It's like it's one thing for people to go out of the way and spend money on your campaign like that, mega appreciated. But to go away and draw something from your campaign, it's different feeling. Very, very strange.
Now, let's talk about that. So this isn't your first campaign. This is your first book, but you've actually, it's been a bit of a journey with you. So you've had it previously out there. This is the remastered version. You've kind of
my journey is sorry. My journey is a long one. I started off on Kickstarter some years ago, and I barely funded. Like I had 97 backers and barely made it. Then issue 2 was on Kickstarter as well. We had like 327, so that did really well, but we made practically no money. And then Aaron went over to Comicsgate, and I'm like, okay, what's this about? Like, I didn't know what it was about. And then I joined up, and like, it's been amazing.
Yeah, that's what I want to talk about. So you've got, if you know what it was like. I was there. I wasn't publishing books, but I was looking at it from the sidelines at what the indie scene was like pre-Comicsgate, and it was just abysmal. And I don't know if you went on any forums or anything like that, but they were just exactly what you would imagine them to be. Just friggin' weird people talking about weird things, focused on weird things. I can remember when I first started trying to get people to look at what I was doing, every single person around me was just promoting what their characters were. Are they straight? Are they gay? Are they trans? Are they black? Are they Asian? Are they gender non-binary? That's all anyone wanted to talk about. And I was just like, I'm just not in this scene at all. It was just crazy. I didn't feel like there was any hope. But you actually put your book out sort of in that market and found a little bit of success. But when Comicsgate came around, it's sort of like we all found each other.
It's crazy, man. Like I don't know if I've posted it yet, but I did a comparison between Kickstarter and then joining Comicsgate, and I think I've had 3 campaigns on Kickstarter. We did a variant cover as well, and I think all up I raised like 11 grand. Let me see if I can find it. Hang on, just give me a second.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, it's friggin'. It's so hard to describe to people what independent comics was pre-Comicsgate. The sad state of affairs it was.
It's crazy. It's like I've had a lot of individual people support me in the past, believe in the project and back the project, and I'm totally grateful for it. But Comicsgate's a whole different scenario. It feels like it feels like a group of people or a movement, whatever you want to call it, a gang of people, a collaboration of people. They all actively want to see you succeed, and it's an amazing feeling. It's so strange to explain to someone.
The what I like to say about it is, whatever it is, I think the kind of the movement side of it has subsided a bit. That was that moment, that was that big bang that happened back in 2017 with Zach and Ethan and everyone. And and that was important, and it did its thing. And then since then, it's sort of morphed into what it is today, which is just an enormous collection of highly enthusiastic fans and a handful of creators servicing those fans, and anyone who wants to come in and service those fans as well. And all you have to do is follow the path that Zach and Ethan and John and all those guys at the start laid out for you. That's all you have to do. That's all I did. And look at me. I consider myself a huge success, considering that a few months ago barely anyone knew who I was. So you just have to come in, kind of play by the rules, follow the path that was laid out for you, and you will find the same success. As long as your book is good, there's always got to be that.
I think that's a key as well. Like Comicsgate, it's a powerful tool. It's a powerful group of people, but if your book looks terrible, man, then they're not going to back it. You can find examples of it now where you'll come across some Comicsgate books that probably don't look as good as they could, and people are just not supporting it because they want good art. I mean, these are fans that have wanted the mainstream to do things a certain way, not the way the mainstream have told them that they should have to read their comics. So
CG World Order asked, sorry Ben, did you find CG or did CG find you? It sounds like CG found you. Like Aaron got into it and then you were just like, oh, what's that?
Well, it was weird because Aaron was working on Replicator too, and then he finished that up, and then he started working with Richard, your boy Zach, Richard Meyer, on Jawbreakers. Yeah, and I'm like, because I thought Indiegogo was nothing compared to Kickstarter back in the day. But in fact, Comicsgate is Indiegogo, and
pretty much.
If you're Comicsgate, you've got a lot better chance of making money and getting funded and getting backers than you do, on Kickstarter by yourself or Indiegogo by yourself.
Yeah, and I know there's a lot of guys who aren't, SJWs who aren't down with the whole Portland comics mafia scene, who are just trying to go it alone, even on Indiegogo. But also on Kickstarter, and I like a lot of their books, and I've backed a bunch of their books in the past, and I still support those guys, but they don't want to be CG. They sort of think it's tainted or whatever. I mean, I don't know, maybe they just have a different philosophy in comics, and I see them struggle, and it kind of breaks my heart because I know that they're good people, and I know that they do have amazing work, and their stories are really good, and they just, without this, for want of a better word, this network, it's really hard.
Yeah. And it was really weird because, before I joined, I'm like, you read all the bad things in the press, all the things that certain people have said that have been blown up and made a big deal of and that kind of stuff. But you don't get the other side of it where, it's gone both ways, where people actively try to hurt people in Comicsgate, stop them making money, by false flagging streams all the time, calling them names like Nazis, like I was called a couple of weeks back. I'm like, and it's these people who they don't judge people on their individuality. They're judging them on a group, which is really a dangerous way to look at things.
Absolutely, and I think. I don't know how long that's going to last, but I just think the more normal people who just come on, they're Comicsgate and they start putting out amazing books again and again. It's just going to become harder and harder to say, oh no, these guys are a hate group. These guys are all about They don't want women in comics, or they don't want black people in comics. And then more and more comics come out with women in it, or made by women with black people in it, and they're normal comics, and they're good comics, and they're some of the best comics, the best artwork. It's just, that's how I think it's going to take time.
Yeah,
we just sort of bit by bit chip down the narrative, because the mainstream the mainstream comic websites and the journalists, or whatever, if they even are journalists, and especially Wikipedia, because that's the big one, eventually it just has to become more and more difficult for them to maintain that narrative when it's, there's literally nothing anymore left to sustain it.
Yeah, and it's a weird thing, because we have women in Comicsgate, we have black people in Comicsgate, we have people of all different nationalities and races. So it's just a weird thing to say, It's just
it's not. I mean, it's not weird. It's completely unfounded, and it's just their go-to thing. They completely disagree with our, I don't know, worldview or whatever, in that we want to tell good stories, and we want to, be good to the customers, and we are the customers. I know I'm a Comicsgate customer. I'm a fan, and it's all that stuff. It's all that I see. It's all that I'm kind of surrounded by, and I'm in Comicsgate every day. And that other stuff, it's not there. It's literally not there. It's all made up. They just want to use that as a kind of a hammer to hit people over the head with. We've got some people here in the chat, some new people. We started to get some people coming in after all the nonsense earlier. So Antoine Dennison, anyone out there who's got a book, just beg him and he'll back your book.
Philip. Antoine's great. He buys original art from artists, which makes it a big deal. It's a big deal to people.
Antoine is in here asking the good questions too. Whenever I'm just kind of struggling for something to ask someone, Antoine will pop in a really good question, and it'll just take the conversation in really good directions. So you've got a fan here in Philip Vernon. He loves it, the look and the sound of it. Chaotic Neutral is in here shilling your campaign for you. Who else we got here? Blue Samurai, I'll focus on the story.
El Argo, definitely check out his comment.
Finally got around to backing your book the other day. Oh, that's for me. So thank you, Hal. Yeah, can't wait to read. Hal CG. Hal Largo. Yes. This is another guy. He's kind of popping around. I love to see all these people coming back for more. Comics with Drew. We know I love his channel here. He says Hal Lucent, Hal Replicator. How long is it before they say you can't write diversity because you ain't diverse? They're already saying it, man.
Yeah,
they've been saying it. They're saying it to Rob. How dare you draw a woman basically as what is we call it, an idealized woman? I mean, not necessarily with those heroic proportions. That's an artistic thing, but there are well-built women out there. They exist. They're real women, and and not only that, they're the kind of women that we all want to look at when we read these stories. We want to look at beautiful people. That's not anything to be ashamed of.
Yeah, and the same applies with men in comics. Like, we want to have mega ripped dudes because we want to imagine being that mega ripped dude. It's
just human nature, and it goes back all the way back. The Greeks didn't sculpt, and the Romans, they didn't spend all that time sculpting schlubby, ugly people. They put out the beautiful people. It's just a silly argument. Z Russ is here. He's great. Hal, everyone, what's up? What's Jason saying? The other assumption is that because the mainstream is pushing to ridiculous far left extremes, that we must be far right. That's another one. There's literally nothing to support that. There's a couple of guys who are, who did think, oh, that's the way to go. They're doing far left. We put out far right. And we don't even run in the same circles, really. I never see them. I don't, like, whenever a new one of their books pops up on Indiegogo, I'm like, I never heard of this book. So it's, we're in Comicsgate, we're of the mind, just create good books that will sell, and then that will push the whole thing forward.
Yeah. And people in Comicsgate, they spend money. Like, they back books, and they back at high tiers. Like, they're invested in the projects. They want everything. That's great. Like, I was talking before about Kickstarter. I had 3 campaigns, 562 backers, and just under 12 grand US on Indigo with Comicsgate. 2 campaigns, 850 backers, and just under 33,000 US. So you know, night and day.
It is, isn't it? Poland can't wait to get both of our books from us two bigots from down under.
Yeah, I know. Man.
You are so right. I did a couple of videos on Kickstarter, and I've backed a few things on Kickstarter. And you're right. Just the general attitude that you find on campaigns on Kickstarter, I think it's fomented this culture that exists on that site where it's kind of embarrassing to them to make money. And they want to sell everything for as cheaply as possible. And, they feel like they're stealing from you by asking for money. It's just a kind of the complete opposite way to how it is on Indiegogo, where we're like, hey, if you can put up, something super expensive on your campaign, because, you never know who's out there, who's got money and who wants to buy it. I just, I sold my my cover art for $500 US.
Nice. Awesome.
I'm a first-time comic artist, and I sold my cover art for $500 US, and that just blows me away. And I'm completely, not ashamed of that. I'm going to put my heart and soul into that piece, and that person who got that is going to get something really special because I want to pay them back for that amazing amount of money that they want to give me. What's that?
It was Antoine, wasn't it?
No, I'm not saying who it was. I neither confirm nor deny. It is someone who does regularly populate the chat, but I'm not gonna out them. But they know who they are. And I'm just like, when that happened, that was another one of those moments. I was just sitting there going, "Wow, this is real. This is a real thing that you can do now, thanks to Comicsgate and thanks to all these amazing fans." I actually counted them. I didn't count all the fans. I counted how many creators are out there. There's a lot of overlap. You get the feeling like there are more than there are because there are so many campaigns, but there's actually a lot of overlap. There's someone called Farah Nurmaliza. I don't know if you're familiar with her. Yeah. She's on like friggin' 10 books.
Yeah, she's a great colorist.
Friggin' amazing.
Yeah,
and
she's great. She's really underrated, I think, too.
Exactly. More people need to know her name. Shout that name out because, people obviously always talk about Eric Weathers. He's out there on almost every book too, and that's great. He deserves that. There's a lot of other artists as well who are kind of getting around on different books. Like Rob Willis is doing a lot of covers now for people. But everyone spread the word on Farah because she's a workhorse and she's friggin' amazing. But anyway, back to my point. There's probably only somewhere between 200 and 400 creators involved in this whole thing. And there are thousands and thousands and thousands of buying fans and customers out there, circling around Comicsgate. So when we say Comicsgate is the fans, we're saying that literally. It really is the overwhelming majority of people.
And one thing that, like, a huge difference I noticed when I was on Kickstarter is everyone seems to be really afraid of helping each other out. Like, it kind of with the mindset that, if I send my fans over to your book, they're going to go and back your book and not back my book anymore. But it doesn't work that way. Like, such a strange mindset.
I've spoken on this as well, yeah.
On Comicsgate, everyone promotes everyone as much as they can or want to, and by doing that, it lifts everyone up. It's such a weird mindset.
It's the pie metaphor. So over Kickstarter, it's kind of a bit of I think it stems from because they are the more far left leaning crowd. They have that sort of it's a socialism mentality view of the economy, where the economy and whatever's in it is a pie, and you slice up the pie to give money out to society, and once that money's gone, so whenever you take a bit of that pie out, their mentality is, well, you're taking away from someone else who otherwise could have had it. Whereas we have the opposite mentality, which is, you grow it. The economy grows. Money is made. When we say make money, we literally mean you make money. You make it out of your hard work and your time. So it's not some pool of money that you take from, you're stealing from everyone else. No, the rising tide lifts all boats. Like
Mhm.
the more money and energy flows around, it's going for everyone. So you're exactly right. That's why we have that mentality where we help each other out, because I want to see everyone succeed who are putting out amazing books and great things, because I want to buy their books too, and I want them to continue doing it. And we all benefit from that.
Yeah, we sure do. Because, the more successful I am, that means the more I can hire people and the more I can back people's projects. So it all comes around.
Yeah, Antoine's here pointing.
True. That is so true, Antoine.
Dan Frager's talked about it as well when he sort of looked at Kickstarter, and he just got that feeling as well. He just felt, oh, this is not for me, because they're talking about like you got to put in a sob story. It feels like a bit like charity. It's not the fun and entertaining place that you want this kind of comics industry to be. It's sort of more of a give me money because I'm a bit of a sad case, and I really need it, and I did this thing, I hope you like it. No, it's just the really not a good way of promoting our work.
Yeah, and there's a distinct need to have digital on Kickstarter. Like, you have to have it, and if you don't have it, people kind of freak out about it. And digital's really cheap. People insist that it's really, really cheap option. It undervalues your work. Unfortunately, it's just the way it is.
Yeah, there's definitely a few different schools of thought on that front, but people are I know for me, I used to read a bit of things on the screen and stuff, but now I really just want the piece. Not only do I want the actual item, like I want to be surprised and excited and amazed when I get it, and I want to see all the bits and see the quality, and they've really put some extra effort into how they've presented it and everything. It's it just adds so much to the whole experience when you get a little surprise as well when you get your package. It's really cool.
Yeah, right now we're at the printers, but because it's been so successful, I can look at doing things that I couldn't do unless it was so successful. And I had you working on something for me last night.
Yep.
And I'm just hoping they're going to send out a test sample page of it. But I don't know if I want to say it, but we're looking at doing a spot UV gloss or a spot UV, whatever you want to call it, effect on the cover. And how cool is that going to be for the backers?
Absolutely. Like when you give something that they weren't expecting.
Yeah.
That shows that you want to, reward them and you care about them and you want to give them the best possible product, man. That moment when they open it and they didn't know that was coming.
Yeah.
If you can get that all to work, it will add so much to not only the look of the book, but just that feeling that people have about you and your campaign and Replicator. People remember how they feel, how something made them feel. And that's what will bring them back later down the track.
Yeah
You know what, I think we might have to end it there because this is the end of my lunch break. These are my lunch break streams. So this has been really good talking with you, man. I know it was a bit rocky at the start, with the shutdown. But Hal, the chat, you guys have been amazing. You came in here and just started putting in too many comments that I could really talk about. So thank you so much for coming in and talking about that. Bandito, you said you wanted to send us off.
Hail, and you say how rocky it was at the beginning, and Rob, the problems that you're going through. You talk about Comicsgate being a great community, and Ethan and others setting up a system that we can follow. But it's more than that. There's other people out there that have those same things. They have their shelters and their bubbles and their patterns that they can go after. But Comicsgate is a boulder that's been trying to be pushed uphill, up the mountain. And as we move towards the summit, it never rolls back. And the reason for it is because the difference between Comicsgate and the rest of those groups out there, Comicsgate knows how to take a hit. And you know what, Rob? You took a hit. But the reality is Comicsgate is behind you. The boulder continues to move forward, and we will reach the summit. And we'll be there backing your book and helping you push that boulder. So fear not, Comicsgate, War Campaign, all the people are here helping you push that boulder. Hail Comicsgate.
Thank you, Bandito. It was lovely.
Very well said, man. You have when you're not blind drunk, not only do you have a gift of the gab, well, you do still have a gift of the gab when you're drunk, but you have an extra gift that we haven't seen until now, which is the gift of brevity. So thank you for that. That was very well said. So yeah, everyone, thanks so much for stopping by, guys. The Replicator Remastered 1 and 2 is still in demand. As you heard, Rob is doing his hardest to give you even extras now to make it that much better when it lands in your hands. And also, you can go on Replicator 3. It's in the sign-up phase right now, so make sure you get on. Sign up, costs you nothing. Put your email in there. If you go on to Backers, you're going to be getting good bonuses.
Yeah, nearly at 240 sign-ups now, so it's
excellent. Excellent. Yeah, so make sure you get onto that, guys. Like, don't miss out on it. Don't sleep on it. Just do it now. Just do it right now, because you're going to forget about it later. That's what I always remember to do. Do it right now, because then I forget about it. And then you have to confirm it, so make sure you do that. And you'll have day 1 bonuses. Yeah, it says on it.
It will. Yeah. We're looking at trading cards, man. But I don't want to say it's going to be a trading card until I've got.
I hear you. There's so much to plan and all this stuff. But check out this Rob Arnold thing. Holy crap! Like, come on. So we know, Rob Willis. Sorry, Rob Willis, not Rob Arnold. Sorry, too many Robs.
I know, man. It was really confusing.
I know you streamed with him.
Yeah,
Rob 1 and Rob 2.
I have a question for Rob. I'm like, okay, what's my question? Oh, you mean the other Rob? Yeah, I gotcha.
So this has been great. Thanks so much for coming on, Rob. Thanks for everyone in the chat. This has been really cool, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Hail and well met.